Hello, brothers and sisters. I want to talk to you about a matter which is very close to my heart at this point, and which you should all know about. That is the matter of Sharia law, but especially Sharia law in the United States. As you know, we have a policy whereby persons suspected of ISI or terroristic activities can be basically condemned to death and targeted using drones. So the legalities of the matter are carried out in this country, and the operators of the weapons or the means of execution are actually in Las Vegas or in the environs of Las Vegas. So the ISI people and Al-Qaeda people have created a mirror program whereby people on this side of the Atlantic in this country can be tried, condemned to death, and then the sentence can be carried out after a perfunctory sentencing and last appeal and last hearing type deal. Now, I went through this and am going through this. Why, I don't really know, because I wasn't part of the proceedings. But you know, I built the vetsandheroes.net site, and that's the memorial for Brits and Americans and Canadians and New Zealanders and Australians who have died in Iraq and Afghanistan. It isn't complete, and it also includes the firemen and policemen who died in 9/11. But it's complete where certain groups are concerned, where the Brits are concerned, and the New Jerseyans, because I'm in New Jersey, are concerned. Anyway, somehow I've been pretty well identified. I'm also an informant, of course, and that enters into it, and because the FBI isn't entirely leak-proof. So what happened is, when they were good and ready and had built up a cell here, I was tracked down, and two Arab guys went to where I sleep to cut me off there, head me off there, and then I came to this place we are now. Now, this is a park, and this is where other gang-type proceedings have gone on as well. So it wasn't a big leap, especially since the guy carrying the gun was Hispanic, and they were apparently backed by the local cartelistas. So this isn't going to happen to you, or then again, maybe it will, depending upon if you're in a city or not, where these things are all together. Anyway, they got me back here, and I laid down on a bench, and the guy showed me the gun, a .45 Browning, which apparently is the weapon of choice of the gang members across the United States. And I said, well, okay. I indicated, shoot me in the side and the head. You got me. They had 8 or so Arab young men. Now, the whole thing of Sharia is based on stonings. So death sentence carried out by stoning. Beheadings also, but stoning is generally what they use. So they need a group of young men, strong young men, with good throwing arms, and this is easy for them to do because they're a lot of athletic Arabs and tall with long arms and good eyes, and they come from a culture where throwing stones is a good way of defending their flocks and sheep and goats and whatever. So they were ready, and they had one guy, equally young, wasn't very old, who was to do the talking, and he started out in a kind of bungled English, and then switched over to Arab. I don't know, I'm sure it was Arabic, but these could have been Chechens too, because of what has happened here. Now, I'm trying to help you. So they're going to be, they have to go, they always go in like a mob. Might be a small mob, it might be as few as 5 or 6, and then it might be a large mob. And this is what the English found in Iraq. They lost 4 officers who were stoned to death. And no one ever witnessed for the officers themselves after they were dead. So it's hard to say how many were in the mob. But it was a mob of stone throwers. So they'll be coming at you like they have something in their right hand. It's a kind of running like this. Okay? And they're good runners, very good runners. I had to report another guy with a gun running, and his knees were clearly as high as his chest. So he was I would say he was a good runner, trained military-style runner. So there you have it. We're not talking about innocent young people. We're talking about military-age adolescents, and these will be the ones to carry out the sentences which will be levied by these guys in Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Libya, Egypt, Islamic State, and wherever they can hide out. Now, you're going to ask, well, why am I here? And what happened? You were lying down on the picnic table waiting for the sentence to be carried out, like a guy on a gurney waiting for lethal injection. Well, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, and I've already heard the is that so said, but lightning struck. And these guys apparently had been dismantling fireworks while waiting for the signal that I was there and it was time. And they came back just as the first raindrops of a passing thunderstorm fell. And as the leader approached me to identify me, and he was running, as were the others, quite capably, I saw the big raindrops, first raindrops, hit him and turn to smoke. And I didn't understand what that was. But apparently they had been dismantling Roman candles, and these contain phosphorus, which make the white streamers. And they all stood at the end, and I was lying down on the bench, and started to blow really hard, and the rain blew horizontally onto them, and the rain was blowing horizontally by this time as the storm intensified, and lightning hit us. I was kind of in a sleep or narcoleptic fit type state, and the lightning kind of bounced me like I was a basketball, and I went into a deeper unconsciousness. And then after a few seconds, I'm not sure how long it was, I turned my head and kind of opened my eyes to see the rain blowing really horizontally, and then I moved my head back to where the Sharia court had been standing, and they were all gone except for the leader, the one I took to be the leader, and apparently he had burnt, the clothes had ignited, the phosphorus had burnt and his clothes had ignited and burnt completely down to his skin, so melting everything down into his skin and burning him, and he just stood stock still. And I know these are terrible things, but you are soldiers and probably remember something vaguely like that happening in Vietnam, either to you, either where you were concerned or someone else in your division was concerned. Okay, so I, at that point, said, what are you going to do? And could see he was conscious, and I said, well, you've got to die, and I passed out again. And I heard people around me sometime later, and one of them said, let him sleep. It's lightning. Let him sleep it off. And I went, and then they left me. So this is a Sharia trial, which was interrupted by a storm, and because they were bomb makers also, by a terrible accident caused by lightning. Now, I've made this so that you know what they are doing and you are not caught off guard. I would say that what has happened here will be typical. In other words, they'll bring a group of young men in, and these will operate as the court, our final jurisdiction, or whatever the legal term is. And the names are being chosen now. Passes on to Iraqi and Afghani vets. I'm 65, and and I'm with the Vietnam group, and I know they have their own language and their own memories, the Iraqi vets do. But this, of course, should be passed on. And I know a lot of Iraqi vets are sympathetic with Islam, and I became sympathetic with Islam. I don't drink. It cured me of alcoholism. It cured me of a number of things. But obviously, so you could say that Muslims are going to be targeted too, just different kinds. Not that I'm a Muslim. I'm a Roman Catholic, but I could be a Muslim, but they can target and carry out the sentence, whatever you are, as long as you're operating against them. Thank you, brothers and sisters, who have given so much.